Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Dawson. Welcome to the very first episode of Leader Talk. This show is proudly brought to you by Brainiact. Each week we are going to be meeting with incredible leaders from across Australia and around the world to discuss all things leadership and business insights. Each person coming on this talk show has given up their valuable time for one very, very clear purpose: to give back to small and medium business owners. In this episode, my co-host and very inspiring CEO, Gus Arianto, and I are super excited to chat to Daniel Wood, Vice President of Tupperware Asia Pacific. Over the last 10 years, Daniel has led the Australian operations of 2 US multinationals in the direct sales industry. In these roles, he has completed amazing business transformations, which have changed the way direct sales businesses operate in the Australian market. Welcome to the show, Daniel.
Hi, Natalie. How are you? G'day, Gus. How's it going?
Hello, Daniel. So excited, mate. So excited. Thank you for coming for the first one. Thank you.
No problem. And congratulations to you both for getting this off the ground. I think it's a great achievement, and I'm sure everybody's looking forward to some great chats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Look, before we get into the juicy questions, I have 2 fun ones to ask you. Curious to know, as a child, what did you want to be when you grow up?
Everyone who knows me well knows the answer to this question because I have tortured them with card tricks for the best part of my life. So without doubt, very easy answer: childhood ambition, and I guess still adult ambition to some degree, was to be a magician. I always loved magic, still love doing it, and yeah, I learned a lot from it.
Oh,
You
love it.
David Copperfield.
Not quite David Copperfield, but maybe one day, Gus.
What about you, Gus? Curious to know, what did you want to be when you grow up?
Well, you know what? The whole team at Pierlite will know this. When I grow up, I want to be a noodle chef, even until today. I just have that passion about noodles. You know, I can eat them every day. And I want to be a noodle chef when I grew up.
Oh, fantastic. Well, going on from that one then, Daniel, what was your actual first job?
My first job when I left school, and in the UK back then they had a program called YTS, Youth Training Scheme, and my first job was in the quality department of a bed factory. I worked there for 4 years, did a draftsman apprenticeship. Spent a lot of time. We had really novel machines that bounced on the end of beds and all that kind of weird stuff. And at the end of 4 years, when I finished my apprenticeship, I only knew one thing for certain, and that was that I didn't want to spend another 4 years in a bed factory. And then I went into sales very shortly after that.
Oh, wonderful. What about you, Gus? What was your actual first job?
Yeah, so my first job, I worked in the small Chinese restaurant as a kitchen hand, washing one plate at a time. There's thousands of plates that I need to wash, but that's my first job, kitchen hand, cleaning dishes.
No, fantastic. Look, thanks for that. Let's launch straight into the leadership. Daniel, we've heard you are an amazing leader. And curious to know, what are the most important values that you demonstrate as a leader?
Look, I think, I think one of the key things, one of the things that I try to do and try to think about in my work day to day and with the people that I'm working with is really trying to help them achieve. I think. There's a thing in direct sales, or where I see most of the successful people in direct sales, and obviously you have to build a business in direct sales. The good people are the people who focus on, the goals and the success of their people, right? And I know it may sound a little bit cliched, but I think it comes down to this, right? No one's gonna really join you so that you can have a great career, right? No one's going to follow you so that you can be amazing, right? I think it's really important for leaders to be focused on or what makes a good leader and what makes a successful leader is people who are focused on the success of their team, and if you make your team successful, well, by default, you're a successful leader. So I think that's a really important point. Go ahead, Gus.
You raise a very, very important note in there. It's all about the people. I am representing the small and medium business, and as a leader of an organization, it could be mom and dad that owning a small cafe. It could be someone that owning a printing business with 5 people. Throughout COVID, the leaders, the owner, find their own challenges. Everyone wanna empower their people. I always believe that no one wake up with a bad intent. No one. The reality, though, we carry challenges, and you experienced in not only one countries, you managing multiple countries, from Asia to Australia, you managing businesses small and big, and in your business model, you actually have a lot of agent that consider can be small or big. How do you, from your view, how should we continue empowering our people and focus on people when we ourselves currently, especially in challenge of our own business?
Look, I think, Gus, it's possibly, possibly the most difficult part of being a leader, right? And I think a lot of leaders have been tested over recent times with the pandemic. The fact is that you're dealing with a lot of crises, a lot of adversity, a lot of problems, and that's at the forefront of your mind. Your business. We have businesses. Some businesses are going well. Some have benefited from COVID. Some haven't. I think from a leader's point of view, my particular approach is this: most of your people, right? We have to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. We work by and large with people who are bright and hardworking, and they understand stuff. So if there's problems, they get it. Like trying to gloss over it and saying everything's going to be fine, and trying to create an atmosphere that's not true is probably pointless. So I would say that my personal view on it is to be real and honest with your people about the current situation, but at the same time, I think you have to be very optimistic about the future. I think the problems with COVID, it's in any difficult situation, in any business situation that's really tough, I think we have to look at it as an opportunity as well. It's you have to do things, right? It's kind of, you can dust off the plans that you've been needing to do for the last 3 or 4 years, and just because of the problems that you're currently facing, it forces you to do something else. And I think that's the approach that I would take. Yes, it's bad. We should be real with people. Give them the respect that they deserve, but at the same time, look at what this problem has and how we can, what this problem's causing, and use it. It sharpens your focus. Problems, difficult times force you to do difficult things. So look for the opportunity, look at the future, and if you're having a problematic time, walk through the issues step by step, do the right things. And then when the business climate changes, you're going to get a better result. I've never seen failure come because people have done the right thing. So, I think in problematic times, just really ramp up the pace of change, do the stuff that you've been meaning to do. You've got good reason to do it. And when the environment changes, or even before, you start to get some benefit from it. Does that make sense?
It's funny. Yeah, fantastic. It's funny, Nat. You remember last night when we laughed and we tried to set this, this system, and we.
Yes, I remember.
We it's only like less than 8 hours ago, and I said to Natalie and I talk about this. you know, there's one thing about leadership, but there's one thing about remain calm throughout the storm. And then I know you for quite some times, and the demeanor that you bring, even right now, you know, I'm sure with your multinationals, businesses across different countries, different time, you will have your own challenges, but you know, you always remain calm. So what's your message to us, all of us, the owner of small and medium businesses, understanding your first couple of message about leadership and taking, you know, empowering as your main key, but delivering it in calmness? Like calm required another topic to talk about. But how do you build yourself like this to be able to remain calm like this?
I mean, you know, I'm not, you know, I freak out like the best of people. You know, I think my answer is twofold. First of all, I think it's important to be human, right? You know, and you know, we're dealing with stressful situations. You know, I've dealt with a lot of stressful situations with, you know, people who are not making money and business not going well, and you know, and I think that's okay. You know, we're normal, and it's okay to be worried about it, and it's okay for people to see a bit of it. You know, I think that's, you know, people in leadership positions, business owners, you know, everyone who's doing something is a leader of something, right?
Yes,
and I think it's okay to show a little bit of reality. I think at the same time, I think a lot of freaking out and just, you know, obviously we all know that's not good. You know, I've been fortunate enough to work with a great team who put up with me, you know, freaking out in front of them, and you know, they helped me help guide me through it. So I think, you know, look, for what I would say is, for, you know, for the wider group, it's okay for people to see you being human every now and again, you know, like, you know, not dealing with your problems particularly well, you know, but to prevent you from being in that cycle constantly, I think it's important that you have a good sounding board. You know, for me, you know, obviously it's my family first and foremost, but the leadership team that I've had the pleasure to work with in Australia were really, really great for me to sound off on, and I think, you know, we all got through it together. You know, that's it. And I guess to some degree we were able to limit our wider frustrations by having one another to share the stuff with.
Wow, fantastic! And you know what, Nat, I wanna ask you. You are a business owner. You have a team that working with you, and in the last 4 weeks, we've been working on the site at night, every night. You know, after 9 o'clock, because otherwise the babies, you have a small kids, and you know, unless they're sleeping, we can't do on this. I never see you not demonstrating the best of you of dealing with me in particular. But you know, what's your view around managing calmness towards challenges? You are in lockdown, and you know, you are the representation of small and medium businesses across the country, across the world, and you always show up. I say to you this morning, you know, oh, Natalie, you show up, right? The way you show up. Share your view on this, you know, the importance of that.
Look, Gus, yeah, thanks. Look, everyone is human. I agree with what Daniel said there. You know, we all have our challenges, and I've had my fair share of challenges, but I believe in this concept that we talk about at Elite Words, which is riding the wave. You know, we're all forced, we face these challenges, and we choose whether we're going to sink, whether we're going to ride the wave, whether we're just going to, you know, float in the middle. I believe as a leader, it's important that we bring this positivity to our workplace. I know we at Elite Words, we meet regularly, we have these chats. I try to remain as positive as possible, and I know when I speak to the team, they say it's infectious. You know, so if we kind of focus on this positive side, and if we choose to ride this wave, because we're all riding the wave, and every time I see a challenge that's coming to me, and I go, whether it's deadlines, whether we get a call at 5 o'clock that says we actually need this done, you know, we need this 100-page document reviewed, and it's due tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. We choose whether we sink, whether we kind of go through the middle. And I just say, I'm just going to ride the wave. And that's what I do. I really live by this concept of riding the wave. So my advice to everyone is, you get this challenge. COVID is a challenge. Yes, it is. But think about how you're going to tackle it. And think of this wave. Just give yourself a concept and just take a breath and just go, I'm just going to ride this wave through. And we're all doing it together, regardless if you're small or a medium business owner. We're all in this together, and we're all riding this wave.
Good, fantastic. Now then, I want to go deeper on this, right? So we talk about leadership, we talk about how to actually show up, as the best of ourselves. And I love the fact that you said show up as who you are. One day you show up as the best of you, and one day you can be messy, but that's okay, because we're not talking about being a Superman, right? So I think that's important for all of us that running a business, small, medium, large, private, or public. We are all human. Now, let's talk about vision. Every business have a vision. Whether, once again, I'm just using cafe as an example, especially now during COVID, where a lot of hospitality getting a lot of challenge. At the start, I have a real example where my friend opened a cafe before COVID, just 1 month before COVID. And suddenly the next 2 years since it started, it's just under duress. Yet the vision of actually bringing healthy food, bringing the best offering remain. Now, from leadership lens, how do you, or maybe not how do you, what is your suggestion to all of us to make sure that leadership vision is not only a corporate statement, or not only a business statement? Sorry, I'm not talking about corporate in terms of thing. Like, I'm an owner of a cafe and I have a vision to bring healthy food. But this shutdown, these challenges, what's your message to us to continue believe in the vision, and how should I communicate that as a leader?
Look, I think let's try and be practical. I don't consider myself a visionary, leader. I think we need more good operators in the world, and perhaps fewer visionaries. There's only so many people that can be visionaries and that can really change the world. The rest of us, I think need to be more practical. Let me talk to you about, I think if we look at where Tupperware is right now, our CEO, Miguel Fernandez, he has this, what I think is a really great vision, because it's achievable. It helps me think about what can be done, right? And basically he talks a lot about, our brand is huge, our business is not. How do we get the business to be as big as the brand? Right. So, obviously the Tupperware is really as a brand, it kind of reflects the whole vertical, right? Every food storage is Tupperware. The problem is that not enough of it is Tupperware. And I think that's something that really starts to spark potential of what you can do. And I think, one of the things that I think, if I look at the things that we've done with Tupperware in Australia, I think it's trying to get ownership of the vision, especially with especially with the people that you work with closely. If they have input, if they have, if they feel that it's theirs as well as yours, I think that they're more invested in achieving it. And I think it's really, I do think it's important to have a good idea of what you want the future to be like, and have people aligned and working towards that. it's not going to be putting a ding in the universe, for most of us. But I think it should be compelling. It should be something that we think that we can do and that we feel strongly about. Otherwise, I think that's kind of pulling people towards the future, as opposed to, if you don't have that, you're kind of trying to push people, and
Yes.
and that's a less pleasant place for everyone to work.
Yes.
So that's
yes.
I think being realistic, having something that's compelling yet achievable, and allowing people the freedom to have input into it. Let them bring their ideas. You need to steer people into things that complement what we're trying to do in the direction that we're heading in. But I think if you have them aligned towards achieving something, then work's more fun, and people are more motivated to go in the direction that you want them to go. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, it does. Gus, can I actually ask you the same question? So I'm a small business owner. I have this vision, mission, and values, same as the question you asked Daniel. How do I actually sell this to my employees? What would be your advice? So I've got this, it's great, but I need them to buy it. I need them to live this. What would be your advice to them?
Okay, so let me just switch a little bit, because you asked me. So obviously, I need to represent the process that happened in my organization, which is Pierlite. We just recently amend our vision. We are a lighting company, and we work throughout 3 countries, throughout all our employees. And I share with you why I want to stress this, because it's actually very aligned with Daniel. A vision, unless you are a visionary of few people in the world that can change the world, for an organization, a vision is something that we look forward, but we will never get there. That's what I believe. It's the infinite mindset stuff. And if you want to create the infinite mindset for your business, and I'm talking about big business, any business, even a house, a family have a vision, you need to get involvement. And what we did, we involve everyone before we try to sell. So my message will be, in the ideal world, and I want to stress why I put the word in the ideal world, because all of us that own small and medium business, throughout the challenges, the word ideal is almost probably non-existent, and I apologize for that. But in the ideal world, try your hardest to involve in the process of the making of the vision. In our business, our vision is come from the people, right? It's come from the people. And if, Nat, exactly like what you said to me last week, you even involve your son under 10 years old to be part of your business, just so they understand what mom done. Now, for me, that's just like, boom, like the world is hitting me, punching me right in the eye. How can a business asking the children, you are a business, to understand what you're doing, and to get the involvement to the extent you involve their writing for your blog post, less than 10 years old? And that's how a business should apply a vision, an ability to involve, collaborate, and making it us instead of me, the mascot. I always believe we on the top is a mascot. We need the people. And I really agree with Daniel. A vision without action is false, and action don't come from the CEO. I mean, CEO do work. I have the owner of Peerlite. I do work, but the people. So I hope I answered that question, Nat.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Now, sorry to take over. I have one last question on leadership before we move to the strategy and the execution of business through the lens of you, Dan. Trust. Everyone talk about trust. Share with me your, everyone talk about trust. Even I said to you, Dan, I trust you for this first episode, Mike. Right? Right? But
I know that you're practicing on me, Gus, until you get your real ideas.
Yes, I'm practicing on you. So, so thank you for that. And I cannot say enough thank you, but Natalie as well. Share with me.
We are grateful. Thank you.
What is the importance of trust in any organization, small, medium, big? And how do you describe it?
Look, I think it's like very similar to reputation and probably has a lot to do with it. Very, very, or probably is built over time and lost very quickly. I mean, to me, it's hard and it's subjective. It's different for you and the people that you deal with. I think. For me, fairly straight shooter. If something's written, something's agreed, something's said, you should try and follow through on it. If you can't follow through on it, then that's another conversation that needs to be had. Fairly simple. It's such an important topic. And I think it's so important in business. It's. Yeah, I like I say, I think, you have to, if you do something, you say something, you put something out there, you've got to follow through on it. When you can't, you need to have a conversation and explain to people why you can't. Otherwise, I think you pay the price, and I think it's one of the most costly mistakes that people make. I think you just need to be transparent, clear, and follow through. What more can I say? And if you don't, you'll pay the price. I think it's that important.
Fantastic. And I think trust is not something that is only come in a size. It's funny. I keep saying small, medium, large, small. Business is a business. Family is a family. Family is connected to business. Business connected to family. Every leaders have a family. Things like that. And the topic of trust is really important. Nat, if you don't mind, I'm sharing because there's one learning that I got through Peerlite. My coach, and she's actually coming in the future. Graciela actually coming, and she said to me once, because I always, you can go to a lot of people say this, trust have to be earned. Trust have to be earned. And I also use that statement because that's what I born with. Trust have to be earned. Until my personal business coach, said to me, Gus, this is the difference. Your grandpa, 100 years ago and more than 100 years ago, have a lot of time to trust people because the speed of changes is not like this. Now, if you want to wait 50 years before I trust Daniel to come to the first episode, then it will be very difficult, right? So trust have to be given. Every business have to trust. This is my personal view, and have to give trust quickly because we battling speed of change, right? And I know I'm using the context, and before we move to the business side of the conversation, Dan, I'm thankful that you trust me to be my first guest, and that's how I see trust from my lens. All business owners, you might have excellent people, junior people, new people. What I learned from Daniel is take action, deliver on that action, deliver on promises, and from my side, give the trust early. It's okay. Everyone wake up with good intent. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, look, I think there's an important point. Everyone understands trust, right? Because when someone's been untrustworthy towards you, you probably realize how difficult that is to overcome. right? And I guess that's one of the things that I've tried to hold close. I don't like it. Like I really I deal with lack of trust poorly, and because of that, I don't want people not to trust me. Is it possible always 100% of the time? Probably not, but I think you should try. You should try to be honest, straightforward, do what you say you're going to do, and if you can't, then try and walk people through that, and if and just use your own experience with it to try and understand how important it is. But to me, I really do think it's one of the most important concepts in business that we need to get right.
Good. Okay, now we're passing the 30 minutes mark. Natalie and I always want to bring two sides of this conversation of leader talk, which is one is in every show we have, we will uncover what leadership mean, because both Natalie, myself, and Jared really, really passionate about this. But I think representing the businesses around the world, the business side is very important. The next 30 minutes, I really want to understand this. Daniel, it's very funny when I'm thinking about Tupperware, I open my drawer in the morning and colorful Tupperware product. My wife loves Tupperware, right? Colorful.
That's
right?
Good to hear.
Right? Bright days start with opening the drawer. And that's actually true. My lunchbox is nothing but Tupperware because the color. I love color, right? And when we talk about Tupperware, obviously, we understand that, like you mentioned before, direct selling model successfully executed around the world. But many people might not understand what is that. Do you mind to share? Because I think for business point of view, good to understand even the little concept of what is a direct selling model and how has this model helped to create the success of a global company like yours?
Okay. So, I mean, I think it's best if people just think of direct sales like a channel, like retail or like e-commerce. The way that we get our product to market and to consumers is through an independent sales force. So, it's we, by and large sell to a sales force, and that sales force has each one of them has a very small business, and then they sell products to end consumers through their own network, and by building a bigger network, they get to sell more product. So that's the conceptually why it how it works or what it is. Look, I think why it works is for a few reasons. I think that the trust within the channel, people buying from people that they know, enables us to sell product. If it's someone who I know well, and I'm buying product from them, then I'm more likely to buy it. So I think that's an important factor. I think the other part is, probably what's kept me in the direct sales industry is, I said before, I started on a YTS scheme in a bed factory in West Yorkshire, and I've been able to do some stuff. By that standard, I'm relatively successful today. And I think that direct sales unleashes people's potential.
Yes.
Again, I don't want to be cliched, but I think we give people an opportunity, and when you give people that opportunity, people develop, people do better, people start to see a different vision or a different potential for them, and that's compelling. They go after it. So I think we leverage the inherent drive and the inherent entrepreneurial abilities of people who have goals. We give them a business opportunity, and away they go, and they do it. So I think that's why it's successful. Very, very, the industry globally significant. Tupperware has 3 million independent sellers. You know, some of them in Australia last year earned more than me. You know, they're incredibly good at what they do, and it's you know, I think that that's what makes it successful. You know, would resonate with a lot of you know, small business owners probably that are listening in. You know, you go into business because you want to do something different and you want to do it on your terms. You want to work when you want to work, and you want to get paid, you know, what you're worth and your ability is worth. You know, direct sales really facilitates that. You know, so that's why, by and large, that's why it's successful, I think.
And you know what, then when I listen to you explaining this, even you know, I think small and medium business will think about talent, right? So when you own a small businesses, and I'm not saying it in the light way, small business, big business, the challenges are equally, right?
Right.
To be honest, small business probably sleep less because they have to combat with everything. Natalie, you are the example of it. You know, like you know, you run your business, you still have to prepare food for your family, and then you still have to do it. Compared to me, so I think it's very respectfully, small business are having a big challenge. But I think the things that I get from direct sales concept is empowering people to do your business through the people that work on the trust level. So when we talk about, you know, the Tupperware lady, the moms, you know, the whoever it is, going to their friends, believing in the product. Now I'm connected to a small sorry, I'm just using this as an example because I don't know why it come to my mind. A small printing business that want to sell a printing business to the surrounding, thinking that they have to, not they, sorry, we, I'm still trying to in tune here. So I'm the owner of a small printing business, and I keep looking into the big printing business. Of course, they're successful. They have a, you know, excellent salespeople. I only have my daughter to help me this. I believe, listening to you, don't be scared on that, because people do buy through trust, through empowerment, through the belief, and that's beyond talent of skill set of selling. Because the more people trust your business, the more you being creative or utilizing what you have and action it now. The proof is Tupperware. Once again, the proof is Tupperware. You know, it can grow 3 million independence network, small business that can thrive, and you just said it's earn more than you as well, and that's amazing, right? That's really amazing. Now, next question around this, just to, so I want to cover.
Can we just go back to just a quick response on that? Look, I think if people can learn anything from direct sales, is, you know, it's all, you know, success is incumbent upon you, right? You know, it's what you put into it, and I think in direct sales, it's very, you know, it's very leveling. Everyone starts the same, more or less, and, you know, your talent and hard work take you as far as you can go. You know, I think the successful people in direct sales are the ones that are not preparing, they're not thinking about it, they're not trying to have things perfect. You know, I think procrastination is a real barrier to growth. And in direct sales, you know, it's the ones who get out there and do it, right? Experience is and I really firmly believe this, experience is the only teacher. So the ones who go out there, make a mess, you know, fail, and then keep coming back and doing it over and over again, they're the ones that are successful. You know, it's always the case, right? If you fail and keep going, you learn something and you do better next time, and that's the challenge. You know, a lot of people, and you see it all the time in direct sales, are just not prepared to they don't deal with rejection, they don't deal with failure well, and ultimately they don't succeed. You know, I think if it's one thing, and it's proven every time in direct sales, it's the ones that are not waiting for the perfect strategy or the perfect time or the perfect product or, you know, whatever. It's the ones that, you know, very practically look at what they've got and get out there and do it. And when you do it, you get better at it and you become more successful.
Thank you.
You know
Can
what's
I just,
amazing? Sorry, Nat.
sorry, I was
please.
going to just add to that before we move on. This question's for both of you. If I'm a small business, I love you've sold me direct selling. How would I actually, one piece of advice that you would give to a small business owner, medium business owner, on how they can actually apply this model? If there was one tip you could give them.
But do you want to go first, Gus?
Well, I'm not the expert of this particular model, but when I hear Daniel even talk before about the model of direct selling, this is beyond direct selling. Business that not thrive, people that not actually going back up and see challenges as a learning, people that waiting until everything 100% perfect before action. And sorry, I have to bring my future speaker, Max Garcia, when he told me, and Max, if you're watching, I'm sorry, I'm using what you teach me. So Max is a U.S. Sergeant Major for U.S. Marine. And he lead the largest U.S. Marine in U.S. And he's now living in Australia. And he said to me, and Max, once again, if you're listening, I'm sorry, I might quote this wrong, but he said to me, Gus, in the combat situation, plan A, hardly successful. Exactly what Daniel said. Plan A, hardly. You have plan, you have vision, you have strategy. You go into the combat, there is enemies going left, right, and center. And in business, it's exactly the same. So what Daniel said for me is applied. So if answering your question, what and how a business can kickstart, for me, the answer is start. If you are a business and you are in the business that required a client and you can't see the client because you are in Sydney and you are in lockdown, then improve your digital. Reach out through social media, which I will talk to Daniel because he shared this story. And if anyone read newspaper, they will see a note about how successful Tupperware running and combating direct selling involved with meeting face to face. No one can meet anyone in the world, and your business thrive because agile moving. So if I own a printing business and I can't see my client, I will wake up every single day thinking, how should I capture that market through digital? That's my advice. I don't know, Dan?
I think we're really cornering the printing small business market, Gus.
Yeah, sorry. And by the way, sorry if you're a printing small business. I don't know why I picked that.
I think look. Just let me answer Nat's first question. I think the one thing that people can take out of it from direct sales is that with success there comes a cost, right? And that cost is hard work, it's failure, it's overcoming embarrassment, it's overcoming people thinking that you're nuts and talking you down. You know, that's it, right? You know, everybody who's hit any meaningful success have ridden the challenges, ridden the objections, ridden the problems along the way, you know. And as hard as it is, you know, it is tough. You know, there's no denying it. It does make you a better person, right? And it does make you someone that's more worth following. And I think that's the advice that I would give. Go out, fail, fall on your backside, pick yourself up, keep going. Everybody's heard this all before, but it's really it's really important. Well, I think you know, there's only so much wisdom in the world, right? And the way that one person says it versus the way another person says it, it's just the way that some people say it that resonates with people. You know, so that's me. You know, I think success costs. You know, there's a price to pay. If you're willing to pay it, you'll be successful. I mean, there's no other alternative, right? If you fail and keep going and fail and keep going, ultimately you have to be successful, right? It's just your ability to deal with it. I'm sorry, Gus. In that, I kind of lost the transition to digital. I don't know whether you want to restate.
Yeah. I won because this is I remember I read in newspaper and many people will do and you spoke to me. I remember 3 months, 4 months ago you spoke to me the challenges about COVID and how impact business, whether it's your business, my business, and you are so passionate about how a business should navigate the challenges and see this as an opportunity, working through digital advancement, online business, whatever it is, because you just don't want to stay put. You refuse to accept and just to carry on for the things you can do. So my question will be, I'm a small business. When I hear digital, for some reason, it sounds expensive. It just sounds expensive until I actually know that to do this talk show is actually almost cost nothing. But it sounds expensive. So let me change. I'm not a printing business. I'm a toy business. I'm selling toys, right? I'm selling toys. I wanna have a website. I wanna have an advancement on digital. How do I kickstart this when I'm limited in budget? What's your advice to us?
Yeah, look, I think it's somewhat the same as my prior advice. You just got to get out and do it. It's not a face to face. I guess you're not doing things face to face. You're doing it in a different forum or different format. But if your content's right and you're passionate about what you're doing, it's relatively low cost. We spoke about Nat's son before. I have a 13-year-old son, and he follows this guy on YouTube. I think his name is Brody Moss, but his YouTube channel is Youngbloods. And he's this guy who is out in WA somewhere, maybe northern WA. He's on the coast, and he's got a drone. He's got a drone and he's got a mobile phone, and the production value of what he's creating is just phenomenal, right? So he's in a fairly remote location.
I've seen these.
Have you seen it? He's just amazing. The visuals that he has of the coastline and the sunsets and it just takes you to a different place. He's a young guy. He's doing this thing with his mates. And as I said, the production cost is fairly low, I would think, but the product is incredible. And look, one thing that I probably, if we look at him, he probably didn't start out doing that great stuff. He probably didn't start out with a drone. He probably started out with a mobile phone and getting out on a jet ski or whatever, and he's now built it into this thing that's much bigger than what he started. If I look back at the Tupperware experience, where did our move into digital come from? It came from the sales force. It came from the people who were selling Tupperware. We'd had a long-held party model, where everyone rocks up to someone's house and the consultant does demonstrations. I think some of that had been changing for a while. I do think that we had people selling stuff on digital, but we were saying no, don't do that, right? And I think when needs must, you're forced to look at something else. And this is another probably good piece of advice. The strategy is probably closer than you think. What really works to me, it's maybe not this this in-depth blue ocean, like we're going for this massive new concept. Probably something fairly close to home, a little tweak to what you're doing, and you can have a really big success with it. So look at our Tupperware is a people business. We have independent people at the core of our business. We, I guess, got out of their way. and created digital tools, relatively low cost. In fact, initially we spent $5,000 on trying to reconfigure a system that we had.
$5,000 for your business to make it
Aussie, yeah, to change the UX system on our consultant ordering platform. And then the growth started to explode. It crossed over with COVID. It crossed over with people looking for earning opportunities and people being at home and wanting to cook. So we got there at the right time. But we looked at what we had. We looked at what people were doing, and we couldn't get big approvals done or high cost stuff or great production value. So we just we did what we could, and I think got out of people's way, and it was really, really, really successful. So my advice in terms of digital is what I find and what we see all the time. As I mentioned, Tupperware is a people-centered business. It's the people, it's people doing what they do, probably having some fun with it, being passionate about the product, doing what they love. Online and on social media, that's the stuff that travels, right? All this glossy, high production value, yeah, look, I think it's, good for branding, but in really, in terms of getting people through the door, in terms of people finding out what you're about and feeling as though your brand is relatable, get on social media, do some videos, get on social media and see how it goes. Get better over time. Add tools when you're getting some sales coming through the door, whatever it may be. If you're advertising a printing business, a toy business, a cafe, whatever it may be, show your product online, do it in a fun way. Be passionate about what you're doing. Not perfect, right? You don't have to be perfect. People kind of, I think people want to deal with people like them. And if we set the bar too high, you're turning off as many people as you are attracting. So deal with what you've got, but be action focused. Get out there and do something.
I don't know, Nat, and I want to ask you as well what I read about Daniel here. And I could be biased because I know you through the study, at La Trobe. And I, from the leadership question to even when I try to bring the question into a very specific around business models, your business model into digital, you are very strong on three things. Take action, don't wait until everything look like a diamond. People is the one who carry that action. So make sure we empower the people and do what you say you do and improve it daily. That's what it's really come to me. And I think if I look it from the lens of the audience, I'm a children toy business that wanna go out there and I making it homemade toy business. And if I don't just act and be passionate with enough why, and if I wait until I have a website that look like, the most expensive, the most successful company in US that's selling toy, for example, it will take 150 years before I get there. But what you're saying is just go there with your mobile phone, trust your belief, talk to your network, starting with your neighbor families. That's the direct selling concept that we can apply. Action. You don't have salespeople. We can use our families, our daughter, our husband, our whatever, our wife, our things. That's what I learned. Nat, what do you get from this conversation so far?
Look, I think you hit the nail on the head before, Gus, when you said leader talk was, you didn't realize that live streaming didn't cost much. 4 weeks ago, leader talk didn't exist. Then, this wonderful idea that took us 4 weeks to pull together. No one knew live streaming. We didn't have high production. Everyone on here is coming on for free. No one's making any money. We're giving back to small and medium business owners. That's clearly what we're doing. the fact that we were able to pull this together in such a short time, really the core thing in there, exactly what Daniel, you said, exactly Gus, what you said, it was the passion. The passion was the drive for us. We knew what we wanted and we just kept that passion alive and going. And it didn't cost us much. It isn't a high production, although we look wonderful, you know, but we're getting the messages across. So as long as you've got that passion, you know, you will get there. There are ways around it. And Leader Talk is that perfect example for that.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago, we weren't there. We're here now.
And it's resonate with me from everything that Daniel say about be brave, take the action.
Yes.
And then I have to say this, right? You put your hand up, the first one, not knowing what I will do. And to be honest, I don't know what I will do. I'm not Oprah. And sorry, I love Oprah, but I'm not Oprah. I'm not. But I don't know. But yet the amount and us, the owner of small and medium business, any business, right? I'm not being disrespectful by size, mentioning size. It will be amazing when you try this. Try to ask for help. I don't have anything 4 weeks ago. Natalie, myself, and Jared don't have anything but ideas. It took me 3 years talking to so many people. Then you are the proof how many times I talked to you about this, to Justin of Laminex, to John O'Neill of James Hardy, to a lot of people. I talk about this. Then Daniel said to me, Jared said to me, start with Jared said to me, you know what, guys, you talk about it so long. Let's just do it. And Daniel said, guys, you talk about it so long. I come for the first one. And guess what? I'm fully booked until end of November on weekly basis. And you guys, that is in challenge. I believe this. I truly believe this.
Yeah, look, and
challenges and win. Yeah.
Look, I agree. You know, you're proof of what's been said today, and I think that things are, you know, I think it's a great start. I think you've put some really good stuff together. You've got a great schedule of speakers coming up, and I think things are going to get better and better and better. And you know, as each one goes, you learn something new. You know, hopefully the first one hasn't, you know, hopefully it's been some learning experiences. We've got some tweaks to perhaps sort out, but I do, you know, I think good on you. You know, this is primarily, you know, one of the key pieces that I said, you know, Gus, I do have to disagree with one thing. If people are waiting for things to be a diamond, it won't take 150 years. It'll never happen, because we live in an imperfect world, and it's about getting out there, doing it.
And that's what I'm trying to say, by the way. I said, if we're waiting until diamond, and that's what I learned from you. And I totally agree with you. If I'm trying to make this live show, for example, to look like a production, well, I think it will be another 10 years before it starts, right? So I totally agree with you, and I think that's a great advice for all of us.
Yeah, the beauty as well is that even if it's bad, you know, you're getting, you know, when you start off, you're getting yourself out there. You're gonna get some people, you know, you might make some sales, you know, you might have some kind of benefit, you might develop a relationship. If you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. So in direct sales, they always talk about earning whilst learning. And I think that that's an important concept. You know, if you're doing it, you've got a chance to earn and develop. If you're not doing anything, you're not getting many benefits, right?
And you know what, Daniel and Natalie, look at the time, exactly 1 hour. You know, at the start of the thing, I have a tendency to talk for 3 hours. I said I want to do it in 1 hour, and we closing in 1 hour. And on behalf of Jared, the owner of Brainiact, creating this platform for me at night, Natalie, thank you so much. You know, you bring the best out of me. Dan, you are the first one here, successful business leader. Tupperware, thank you so much for allowing Daniel to share some insight. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure you know, the small and medium business across the world will get some learning out of this. And like what you said, Natalie and I want to keep improving this. Please check in. Brainiac will have a we'll develop a feedback session, a feedback comments, so we can learn to improve. And once again, Daniel, thank you. And Natalie, if you want to say something to Daniel too.
Yeah, look, thank you for your time, Daniel. And thank you everyone for tuning in. For more information on Leader Talk and for some great resources to help your business grow, just check out brainiact.com.au. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.